Get down. Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm about to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focused on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me Evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up. And the snake kids get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up if I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle a lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, keep pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. The rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on the
Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. How you doing out there? What's good, family? I hope everybody has had an amazing day and a phenomenal week. And I hope you are doing well. Thank God we made it through the day. I don't know about you, but if your day was like mine, I'm just glad that 5 o'clock came and the day was ended, right? So anyway, guys, welcome to Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B. We're here on the most amazing network that ever existed. That is the Bravo with Sheila network. And we pay homage to the Queen Bee herself in the person of Pastor Sheila Ingram, who, as I always say, so graciously yields me this captain's chair every single Thursday night to come spend these next 60 to 90 or so minutes with you. So give us 60 to 90 minutes and we're going to give you some good information. We're going to give you some good conversation. We're going to give you some good nuggets and some good gems. I am excited on tonight. So I'm going to ask if you would like, subscribe, and share. Pull somebody into this great conversation. We know the people will be coming in as the night goes on. And we are excited and just grateful to be here. So I want to holler at the greatest moderator ever in these YouTube streets, none other than Lady Anae Kenya. She is in the house. Hey, Anae, how you doing, mama? I hope all is well with you. And for those who are up in the bleachers, the silent section, or the expensive seats, as we say, I want to say good evening to you too. Thank you for joining, and we are glad to see you in the building. Come on down to the comment section. I promise that we play nice down here. Just say hi. We want to say hi back. All right. So again, like, subscribe, and share. And I thank you all for being with us on tonight. Bring a friend. Thursday nights are my absolute favorite. It's Friday Junior, and I'm so grateful for it. I see we have Lady Navoa in the house. Welcome, sis. How are you doing? That's right. She already got it started. You know the hashtag on tonight is something happens when men speak. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. Tonight, I'm excited. Every third Thursday of the month, we have the Men's Lounge. Our men come on and they share from the depth of their well, from their experiences. They talk real. They keep it 1,000, and we just appreciate them and who they are. So on tonight, we got a few of the men from the men's lounge who are going to come and share. They are no strangers. I'm going to bring them on up. But right before I do, hey, Maisha, how you doing, cousin in love? Tell your husband he got to get to his spot. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I think I see him. I see him. All right, here we go. All right. So hey, cousin in love, Maisha. And to let's see. I don't want to miss nobody. Lady Navo is in the house. We got Lady Anae in the house, and we're gonna invite some more people liking, subscribing, and sharing. Why? Because the men are in the building and they are ready to talk on tonight. And I'm ready to lean in, ladies. Lean in and listen. Ladies, get your pen, your paper, get out of your feelings. Let's hear what the men have to say. I might start off a little violence today. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. They were a little mellow, but nonetheless, let's get it going. So on this month, we know that it is Women's History Month. And with that being said, we have been celebrating and honoring women all month long. And with that in mind, we started off with our ladies' room. They were sharing. We had them bring on someone that they considered an unsung hero, some women who are doing some amazing things right in their communities that deserved and needed to be honored and recognized. And we did that through our ladies' room. And then we brought on back our married couples for love, marriage, and ministry. And that was dynamic, talking about fitting the role of the leading lady. Ooh, that was a good one. If you missed it, I suggest you go back and catch it because that was good. I'm excited about that segment and to keep that going. It is going to be phenomenal. Hey, my sister Alicia, thank you for joining. We see you out there, sis. Thank you for joining. So yes, on tonight, we are keeping the flow going. I don't know why. I just love the men's lounge. I just do. I love to hear the men talk. But on tonight, in keeping with the feeling and the flow of Women's History Month. Now, we took Women's History Month from a different angle. Didn't necessarily want to shout out the women that are already in history, although we are grateful for those who have paved the way and set the path for a lot of us to follow in. But this month, I wanted to really celebrate women who are making history now. And in tying that into the men's lounge, I wanted to talk about female influence, the female influence in a male-dominated world. Now, that topic alone has caused a little bit of tension because some men feel like it is not a male-dominated world, it is a female-dominated world. We might outnumber them, but I have a different perspective. But we're going to get into this good conversation on tonight. So again, like, subscribe, and share. Invite someone into the conversation, and let's get it popping. So on tonight, our men's lounge moderators who are going to be the ones who, when men speak, something happens. They're the ones who are going to make it happen with their voices. We are going to bring up none other than no stranger here at all. He is a whole encounter and experience. He is known as the Psalmist Voice, aka Pastor Christopher Newton. Come on and say hello to the people on tonight. Pastor Chris, how you doing?
Oh boy, what's good, family? What's up, Bravo with Sheila Nation? What's good? What's good? We are streaming also on the Psalmist Voice Video Network, on YouTube and on Facebook. So what's good as well? Had to give a shout out there as well. But I'm excited. I'm ready to bring the blood. No, I'm kidding. But no, I'm ready to bring some knowledge to the table, but yet I'm excited about the team we got tonight because I think we're gonna represent, and of course shout out to Pastor Linwood Bill. He couldn't be with us, and that's my yin to my yang, as you want, so to speak. Yeah. But I'm gonna represent well, sir, so don't worry. So that's my spiel. Can't wait for the other gentlemen to come on here. So let's get it. Let's go. I'm ready.
All right. Well, here we go then. Let's get it popping. And next up is no stranger at all. He is one of the original, probably one of the first who was a part of the men's lounge. He is number 2 of 4, as I so lovely call him. I am 4 of 4. He is 2 of 4. We are literally blood brother, sister, grew up in the same house, same mama, same daddy, same all of that. He is in the person of Minister Donald Brathwaite. Come on, bro. What's happening? 204. Say hello to the people.
Hello, and hello again. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It's a pleasure to be part of this wonderful live broadcast. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
You're such a moderator, such an amazing moderator.
What I do. It's what I do. This
That's
is what
my
I
brother,
do.
y'all. It's my brother. It's my brother. So next up to the stage, we gonna bring up my dear friend, longtime brother. He is new to the Men's Lounge squad, the Men's Lounge team, but he has been on this platform twice in the Love Marriage Ministry segment. I promise you, if you missed it, you need to go back and catch the replay. Him and his wife, his lovely wife, my sister friend, Lady Rhonda, just an amazing couple. They shared from the transparent well of their knowledge and experience. So I said, you know what, we got to get him in the mix of the men on tonight so he can, take, everybody's taking off their pastor title, their pastor robe. They're going to talk like men. So we want to bring to the stage and introduce to some, present to others. I'm so Baptist right now and so churchy with that. None other than my brother friend, Pastor Lindsey Jones. Come on and greet the people, sir.
Greetings to everyone. I hope to have a wonderful show. Thank you for having me on. I look forward to a wonderful conversation to have with the men. Get your seatbelts on, ladies. It's going to be a ride.
I told y'all the men don't play. The toxicity that starts to roll. Again, that's why I think I'm gonna have to choose violence early because they coming in armed and ready. And last but not least at all, I call him the quiet storm of the group. He is very gentle in his speech, but he is strong in his words. And he is my kin. He is our kin. He is literally blood of our blood. He is none other than, and he's no stranger. He's been here several times. He's a part of the squad, a permanent part of the team. He's part of the Love Marriage Ministry squad as well. Y'all need to get to know all these voices. He is our cousin by blood, for real, for real. That's right. We got family in the house on tonight. None other than Pastor Angelo Brooks. Come on, cuz. How you doing today?
Good evening, all. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Good. Well, glad to be on tonight. It's been a long day. I've been rushing and diving and curving and everything else. But we're in the house tonight. Fellas, we talking about the ladies tonight?
Absolutely.
I can't hear no backing, so I better go ahead and time out. I live in the house. I live in the house with one, so we talking about the ladies tonight.
well, I got you. I got you back. I'll speak for the married men that's on the panel because I don't want y'all to get in no trouble. So I got you.
You need to do that, bro.
I got you.
There ain't no trouble on this platform. See, but I'm saying y'all done corrupted my cousin now. Y'all done corrupted.
Sorry, cuz.
He's coming out now already. Already, he's ready to go. The toxicity has spilled down the line. So, welcome. I promise you, if you've never been on the Men's Lounge segment, you are going to enjoy it. There's nothing like it. I love this amazing group of men. And before we get into the conversation, I just want to shout out a few more people who I see have now come into the room. Who we got here? Let's see. We got Michelle Roach is in the building. Hey, sis, how are you? She says, Psalmist the voice, let's go. Bring the ham and pepper jack by way of Texas. All right. And we have my poetic partner, the poetress, Antoinette Saunders in the house. What's good, sis? It's good to see you. Again, my girl, Alicia Harris. See, the ladies are piling in. They are piling in. We leaning in to listen. And to everyone on Pastor Chris's platform, TPV Radio, Television, we thank you for joining and partnering with us on tonight. We look forward to what is about to go down. So again, before we get into it, come on and like, subscribe, and share. It is about to be good and good some more. So the topic on tonight for our lovely Men's Lounge is female influence in a male-dominated world. Now, I know it's controversial. I know it is. And again, I've had side conversations that have got a little smoky. I ain't going to say heated, maybe a little tight. because the rebuttal has been, this is not a male-dominated world. And I tend to think still that it is. Yes, there are women that are leading and in spaces, but the end decision usually comes, or the sign-off. This is just my take, just me. I'm gonna get mine in quick. While we, yes, may have some spaces that we have acquired, while we are in a whole lot more spaces than we have ever been in before, while we numerically do represent well, that's right, I'm stirring the pot. I'm getting all scrapings off the side. That's right. I'm coming in with fire. While we hold down certain positions, while we do sit in some leadership seats, truth be told, at the end of the day, we still have to wait for someone to sign off and approve our request. And generally, at the one who is signing that paper, who is signing off or giving the permission, is a male. There are not many women that are really signing off on things in the higher or the highest spaces that rule and govern the country. Y'all, when we come out in numbers, y'all kind of let majority rule. But majority doesn't always rule, because y'all are still the pen that says whether it's a yes or a no, or what it is. So that's my take on the topic to begin with, to start with. So while there is female influence and we do make an impact, we are still in a male-dominated society, not necessarily numerically, but when it comes to the powers that be. Women can run for president, but we have yet to hold the seat. So that's what I'm throwing in the pot. Oh, look here now, before we release the men, it is Mama Rosa, aka Pastor Rosa. She is mother. There he go. 204. She pushed us out and she raised us up. And here we are now. She says she is multitasking between listening and doing homework, but she is here listening. She's going to drop some nuggets. So welcome, Pastor Rosa. So before I get into these questions, I want to give space to the men to share their thought on the topic title itself. So I'm going to go in reverse, because I already know the person sitting next to me on this side. I already know this. I see it brewing. So I'm going to start with our newest squad member. Come on, Lindsay, share your thoughts and your feelings on this topic of female influence in a male-dominated world.
That one's rough. It's not too rough, because I do understand that influence, this day and age, influence is a lot. And we have more people doing or pretending to be influencers, but actually just pretenders.
True.
So we have to be careful to make sure that we are following the right influencers and not pretenders. And there's a difference. To say that is that we have men who think they're influence and they're pretenders as well. I want to go there. And so I understand why the women have to come into prominence, is because the men are sometimes not in their place. And so therefore the women have to take over, because the men are not doing their job. I know we'll get in trouble for this. I know I am.
Say that again. Say it again.
I know I am. Because if you look back, the original intention back in creation was the woman to walk beside the man. And because of the man's inadequacy to lead, that's where you have a lot of influence in women leading now. And I'll leave it at that.
And that is true. Thank you for that. I'm going to let it rest there, because I don't want to get it too deep just yet, because I want everybody to get their points in. But I love what you said. I feel like you gave a little point to the women right there. Now, I do want to say, while we are at it, on the Bravo and Sheila Network, while we are Christian, each of us individually in our own lives, our decisions, we are not a Christian-based network. We are open and inclusive to everyone and everything. But as you know, my disclaimer is I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get some Jesus every time you see me somewhere, somehow. All right. So we are just speaking on tonight, not necessarily from the spiritual or religious aspect, but because this is who we are sharing from our place of knowledge, our place of experience, and our well. So when we bring scripture into it, and I just want to bring that up because I just want everyone to feel included and know that it is an inclusive platform, but we can only speak on what our experience is. So we come from biblical standpoints, but we are having, general conversation on tonight as well. So, we take the word and we make it practical. All right. So we have a practical conversation. It is for everyone because I don't want anyone to feel left out or anyone to feel, a little in your feelings. So we always want to put that disclaimer out there again. And we are not experts. We are people who are coming together to create dialogue and conversation. And I'm sorry, I usually put that disclaimer in the beginning, but y'all make me so excited when it's the men's lounge. I forget what I'm supposed to do. I need to follow my notes. All right. So Lindsay, you done left one point for the women. It's all right. If the men put you out, the women, you can come over to the ladies team. You come over to the ladies team. All right. So now we're gonna move over to my cousin who y'all have corrupted. My Lord. Come on, Angelo. Share your thoughts and feelings on the topic of female influence in a male-dominated world.
Well, first I want to say happy Women's Month to all the ladies. So happy Women's Month to all the ladies. This is their month, and we celebrate and salute you all for that. I don't know, fellas. This was a tough one here. It's kind of tough because I'm like Pastor Lindsley, and I kind of doing some research. It's 6.5% of women work full time in the United States, work in male dominant industries, and that's on the rise. There's an increase in that. So that means the ladies are running the show. The ladies are ruling. The ladies are taking over the working industries. As we know, majority of us are pastors. Hey, when you look at your church, what is the majority of what you see? You see ladies. You don't see a lot of males. So I don't know, fellas. Y'all gonna have to help me with this one. I salute my ladies on tonight for all you've done, all you've become, all you're becoming, and what you're doing. Because right now, like I think Beyonce, y'all rule the world.
Well, again, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And my add-on or tagging up to that is, statistically, even with that, how we represent in a male-dominated workplace. Still at the end of the day, a lot of us are not sitting in those chairs that really make those final decisions. We are sitting in a lot of the chairs that fight for the right to have those decisions, but the ones that are really signing off, it still comes down to the man. But we have the influence to help you to push that pen on our behalf. That's my point. So we gonna move right along to I don't know whether to call him Junior Toxic. I'm not sure. But come on, because he's strong. He's strong. Come on, 2 or 4. What do you think about the topic? What is your feelings of female influence in a male-dominated world? I told y'all I chose violence early today. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm ready.
I'm gonna skip the Junior Toxic comment and go directly to the subject matter at hand. So I must say that I consider myself a bit of a feminist when it comes to what I too believe women have been basically put to the back of the line on many things in politics and business and workforce, especially. I definitely would agree that the labor and efforts that have been made to get the women in more leadership roles is well deserved and well earned if it's done obviously with integrity. More to that is I definitely would not have any problem with any woman being in leadership or being in control if the male presence is short or absent. And I think that pays a lot in where women do find themselves at times having to do dual task, meaning, if it's in the home, they have to be a dual DUAL parent. If it's in the workplace, sometimes they have to, unfortunately, take on male attributes in order to be part of the boys' club, in order to fit in, in order to fit in, so they get growth and development opportunities that men get without having to work as aggressively for. That's not to say us fellas, aren't hard workers, but I have seen, and I am willing to share my personal experiences with women in the workplace, with the workforce of women in the workplace in the industries that I basically service. My sister and I, four have had many conversations on that. So I'm gonna pause at that point.
Yeah, because we gonna give you some space for that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes, we have talked about that in several times, because there has to become an understanding as well. So I want to read a comment. And ladies and gentlemen, and welcome everyone to Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B. On tonight, we are hosting the Men's Lounge, and our topic of conversation, as we are honoring Women's History Month, is female influence in a male-dominated world. So I want to thank everyone that is still tunes in. Please like, subscribe, and share. It is, as we say, free 99. It won't cost you anything, just a quick push of a button. I want to say welcome to Jackie Davis. Is that Mama Jackie? Hi, Mama Jackie. How you doing? She was one of our honorees who kicked off the month. We kicked off the month with her being celebrated by her daughter, Maisha, who is a part of the ladies' room. So I want to read a comment. And ladies, I want you to also chime in and comment about your thoughts as the men are speaking and sharing. Lady Navoa says, no, that's what is influencing today's modern women to act and think like they are because of that, sir. All respect, but I work in the YouTube streets. I see them, hear them, and think delusional, a lot of them. Okay, that she's talking from her experience in these YouTube streets. Lady Nebola also says, and this is a response, I believe, in partially to what maybe Donald said, someone between Donald and Angelo. This is why our men are speaking now today, because something is wrong. We're not being and training to be wives today. When's the last time you went to a wedding? They want the 666 man nowadays. Lady Nevo, you're gonna have to explain what the 666 man is, unless you're referring to the devil. Because that's only 666 I know, and I don't know what women want that. I hope you don't want that. You might want a six-figure man, but please like, subscribe, share, comment. And Landon Price says, salute. Welcome, Landon. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here on today. And then Lady Nevoa says, thank you, Lady Dawn B, for that, because that's real today. Amen. Listen, we are really here having dialogue, and the point of these conversations is for us to gain a better understanding. I remove the women from the platform and let the men speak. Why? Because, as we say, something happens when men speak. Put it in the chat if you believe it. Put it in there even if you don't. But something does happen when men speak. Men are, your voices are strong and meant to call things to order. Your voices make the difference and set control also. When you speak, it makes a world of difference. Sometimes women, we are not heard in the same manner, and so we just want everybody to get in their right position so that we can have better relationships one with the other. And so now, here we go. We're going to leave the comments now for Pastor Chris. Oh, hold on. Okay, Lady Navoa is explaining her 666. Thank you, sis, because sometimes I miss it. But right before, you said we follow you. Got you. Thank you so much. Lady Navoa says 6 foot, 6 figure, 6-pack. We call it, but that's not that. Oh well, just because he have a lot, have all that, he's not a devil man. But of the sixes, but we need our men to speak, but don't make sound like we're the leaders. Okay, I just I just wanted to be clear. I wanted to make sure. I'm saying my understanding when you say 666. I'm sorry. I told you I'm a God's girl. I went straight there. All right. So thank you for explaining that. And a lot of women, we do want, when I say we, I'm saying women in general, not specific. A lot of us, and some of us do want that. We want the 6 foot, the 6 figure, and the 6 pack, and that's wonderful. But if he doesn't have the internal compass and integrity to be able to lead and manage, ladies, I suggest we leave that alone. And we start looking at our good men who are leading. And I'm get right to you, Pastor Chris. I want to read Pastor Rose's comment. I just need to say this and go back to my homework. Okay, we know you're doing homework, ma'am. Do your homework. We have had to fill, because she's busy. We've had to fill a position for survival and support, but in no wise is it or should it infer that we are just surviving. A few of the men did allude to that, that reality that we have had. As a matter of fact, all of you have touched on that women have had to take a particular place in leadership because of the lack of men in that position and placing. Something happened, and we need to stop blaming each other, and we need to place. So with that being said, I'm going to read this last comment because I know Pastor Chris is going to come and, he's going to do what he does. My poetic partner, the poetress Antoinette Saunders, says something definitely happens when men speak. They're important. It's so important. Amen to that. All right. So those are the comments we have had so far. Ladies, continue to chime in. And Pastor Chris, come on and share your thoughts on the topic itself of female influence in a male-dominated world. Lord, glasses. Here we go.
I'm sorry. I had to take the glasses off. But first and foremost, I have to agree with Angelo and Lindsay in most parts. I have to agree with them. We have probably 2 generations of men that have been lost, right? So within that gap of a generation, we have a generation that doesn't know how to be men, let alone be the man that we're supposed to be in church or out of church, just straight up. So there's a big gap there. Not making excuses, but I don't know what happened. Genocide, something happened, because there's a big gap there. So now we have to close a gap of 20 years. That's a lot of time. So within that gap of 20 years, men that have evolved, they've grown up, you've grown accustomed to staying home on Sundays watching football. Well, you can't watch football every Sunday all year long. So we got to find other things to do, right? Also, when you're going into the church space, we do see a lot of women in the house, and a lot of us, what do? We sit in the back, right? Now, there's logical questions for this. And the reason why we sit in the back, and I'm going to say some, not all, so please don't inbox me. Sometimes men sit in the back because there's so much emotionalism in some, not all churches. We don't communicate that way. Talk to us as men, not have a men's locker room once a month. When the pastor is preaching and you see a slew of men in the back of the church, that's a problem. Either we're there because our wives has been bugging us for months to come, we finally show up. But then we get a whole bunch of emotionalism. So, of course, we're going to shut down. That's one. 2, in the secular world, right, we say that it's not, it's more of a male-dominated world. Well, I have stats, and I'm sorry. Just based off last year alone, 79% of American preachers, black or white, 79% rule or lead churches. 2023 stats, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the workforce, shall we? Since the numbers seem to be a little off. 2023 stats. We have one of the almost tipping the scale numbers in American history. We have women that account for 47.7% of the global workforce. Men, yeah, we still lead a little bit by 2.9%. Whoop, whoop. But y'all talking about we still rule. No, we don't. In Canada, let's break this all down. In Canada, 61.3% of women rule the workforce based off of 2023 stats. We can go further. College educated women that are in the workforce, 50.2%, black and white and everything in between. This is every woman, every race. Okay, men, in those 3 categories, men, we're still a little bit above global at 51.2%. That's not a lot, ladies. Canada, we're at 59.1%. That's not a lot, ladies. And college education, you guys got us. We're at 48.5%. Now, listen, I put all those stats out here for a reason because I'm trying not to go ham. Now, I hear this all the time. Okay, it's not a male, it's a female-dominated world. Yeah, it is. We dropped the ball, man. Simple as that. I got to co-sign with Angelo as well as Lindsay. I have to co-sign on that. We dropped the ball, and I'm not making excuses. So what do we do now in this panel that we have here, the collective of men we have tonight? What can we do for the next generation of men? First of all, we got to stop making them emotionally soft. That's the problem. We don't. We can
get too deep though. I don't want to get too deep yet.
Okay. Well, I'm trying not to, but this is a very loaded question. So I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice. So I'm going to slow down. I'm going to back off a little bit, and I'm going to hold my comment because there's a lot. But I did want to comment on one of the sisters' questions. They talk about 6 feet, 6 figures, 6-pack, right? Well, 6 feet, it's a preference. 6 figures, it's a preference. 6-pack, it's a preference. Just saying. So if you choose to go 666, that's your choice. But am I saying all 666 men are wrong or are bad men or whatever it is you want to call it? No, it's the stigma that has been put out that's what deems it so. Now, am I saying they're more valuable than the men that don't make all that? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's the stigma. That's what's been pushed. That's what's in social media. That's what's in some, not all churches. That's what's in some, not all workforces. So this is what a man that is not in that space has to compete with. And if you fall short, you end up on the short end of the stick. But I'm gonna keep my comments. I'm gonna be quiet. Yeah, go ahead, because I'm about to go off. Go ahead.
Well, you don't have to go off just yet, it's all right. No, you're giving good information. We're here to have dialogue. I just didn't want you to get in too deep too soon because, we want to continue to build. I know you got good stuff and I know it's getting ready to come all out and we want to hear it, but we, everybody can't chew that fast. So, we gotta let it marinate a little bit sometimes. Lady Navoa says, first I heard it. Thank you. Men can hold accountability as well, not for just women. Thank you, Pastor Chris. Now, I will say, we often play the blame game between the sexes, and that's what we want to try to stop doing. We have to change that narrative. And the 666 comment, now that she explained it, she did say some, that's what some women go for. And like Pastor Chris said, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is preference. It is sort of what we have been kind of taught and tuned to. But as things have changed in the world, and you brought up very good points and very good statistics, and partially, again, my point or my take and my stance is, again, numerically, that may be factual, but the positions that we hold, how much weight do those positions hold? Because, the majority does not always rule in every case, in every situation. We've been taught that we can have a whole bunch of numbers. Listen, employees outnumber management in any place you go, right? You always have more employees than you do managers, but managers are the ones who make the decisions. Managers are the ones who really set things in place. So the employees, while they may have outweighed, and I say this about the women in a lot of spaces, we may outweigh numerically, but the weight of our positions does not always put us in a place of making that final decision. Usually it is, again, a man's pen that has to sign on that. So we have influence, but at the end of the day, it's still the men who dominate the world because you decide, especially at a time where women have rights sometimes on our own bodies. You know, there are men making decisions as to what women should do with their bodies, how we should, man doesn't know what it's like to be pregnant, but when you want to rule out, and I'm not trying to get into deep, but I'm just bringing this up as a point. So when we talk about women are taking over the world, how am I ruling a world if I can't even make a choice about what's going on in my body? And a man gets to make that decision. The laws, governments, in a lot of places, it tells us what we should do, when we should do it. It's just one point that I'm making as a woman. So again, we have influence and we can speak up. But at the end of the day, who's signing off on these laws and legislations, and who is deciding when my right is taken away as a woman? So that's what I'm saying when we talk about female influence in a male-dominated world. Women are making marks, yes, but at the end of the day, men are putting the period on the sentences. So that's just my take. I told y'all I was choosing violence tonight. Okay, I told y'all that to start with. So far, and ladies chime in, men chime in. Come on, let's hear your thoughts. Antoinette says, good examples, Dawn. Thank you, sis. I did some of my homework too now, y'all. Lady Navoa says, it's a girl, she sing the song, but it's nothing. Come on, y'all. Speak real here. It's nothing. It is a man's world, but it's nothing without a woman in it. But we have to work in partnership. We have to learn how to work in partnership. The world has us, putting blame on each other and becoming enemies and at odds instead of joining forces and being in partnership so that we can dominate together. There's an order. And women don't necessarily, we don't want to be out of order. I told you, I'm tired. I don't, listen, I'm tired. I don't want to make no more choices. Okay, whatever you say, sir. We eating whatever you say we eating. We going wherever you say we going. We going to do whatever you say we doing. Okay, no problem. All right. Not an issue. A lot of women, believe it or not, we forced into these spaces and then this becomes our norm. But inwardly, we really don't want to have to bear the weight of leading. Our shoulders are not made for it. They've just become conditioned to it. So anybody want to chime in before we get to this first question that I have? Come on, share your thoughts, your feelings. Don't be scared. Open up your mic.
No, I totally get where you're coming from. The fact that when your influences and the women influence the men or the ones that's in position, don't take that so lightly. Because yes, most of the men in corporations are the ones that's putting a pen to paper. I get it. But the right influence or the right female influences can also change that person's heart, can also change the way that person thinks. But right. It's up to the man and his ego to get checked. Because sometimes a man's ego will get in the way when he thinks the woman is trying to take over. And that's something that men have to deal with. Because I've come to realize that I don't know everything. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I need my female partner to shed another light on it that I could not see because of how I view things. Men are conditioned to view things very differently. We are, well, for me, provider first. If I can't provide, everything else is out the window. If I can't put my family in a place where they feel safe, everything else is out the window. If I can't put my family in a place where I can feed them, everything else is out the window. I got to make sure my family's surviving. That's my responsibility as a man. Now, when it comes to other things around the household or even in the church, we can't see everything. So we rely on our female counterparts to provide that influence to show us a different way. And if we don't check our ego, that's when things go into awry. Because our ego will say, well, I can do it myself. I can handle this myself. And the truthful reality is, we can't handle it by ourselves. And we need that influence to show us, hey, yes, I know you're in charge, but maybe look at it from this point of view. Look at it from this point of view. Take a step back. Look at it from an eagle's eye instead of at a rabbit's low. Because when you're soaring above high, you can look down and you see the whole picture. My bishop said, try not to look at the tree, but look at the forest. And I'll leave it at that.
No, that's good. That's good. What I hear you saying in the midst of that is we have to be mindful about the positioning of our influence, or the position of our influence, you know, and keep in mind that we have, and I think we know that we as women, we use it, you know, y'all call it womanly wiles, you know, how we are able to persuade or pursue, you know, in one direction or the other. And we as women do have to be mindful and careful of how we use our influence and persuasion when it comes to our men and leading. Because if done the wrong way, it makes a man feel like you're being taken advantage of. Am I correct? Am I wrong? Am I right? You don't want to feel like somebody's tugging on you just to take advantage. So women have to be mindful. We keeping it real here. Go ahead, Pastor Chris.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, and I know I know my brother down there. He got something. He gonna say it in a poetic way. I just gonna be blown away anyway.
No,
but
y'all made him justified him. So
no, because see, I know, I can see in his eyes. I can see in his eyes, and he ain't wearing that shirt for no reason. I know his wife said, "Oh, he fine in that shirt, but he wearing it for a purpose." Okay, let me get to my point. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. Co-signing to Pastor Lindsay's comment. Ladies, not all, don't allow me to have my God-ordained space in the natural or ministry based off my price tag. I'm done.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna let it ride. Come on, cousin. Come on, I'm gonna leave it.
Oh. Tonight is tough, guys. I don't know about y'all. Tonight is a tough one.
I chose violence on purpose.
You challenged us tonight.
You should have never invited me on.
Oh, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing without knowing I was doing, but I knew what I was doing.
You challenged us tonight. You got us thinking. You got us scared to speak at the same time. You know, we got a lot of ladies ready to throw some darts at it. You know, they ready for us when we get off this line.
The only thing the ladies can do, it ain't gonna hit you because they're in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm the only estrogen on the platform. So I got y'all covered. All they can do is shoot darts from the comments. It's all right.
So let's kind of, I may have a few points and then I'm out too. I'm gonna drop the mic just like Pastor Chris did. Let's talk from let's talk from those group or the other group of ladies that you know, they don't want to be in the limelight. They don't want to be the ones that wear the pants. They don't want to be the ones that they want to be the ones that wear the pants. They want to be the ones that at the end of the day they have the final say so. They want to be the masculinity in their home. They want to be. There's a group of women that don't want it, but at the same time, there's a group of women that do want it. They want to be dominant over the man. There's a group of ladies that want to make the six figures. They want to be, hey, I make the final say so. I wear the pants. I'm this, you know, they want to be seen. They want all of that over the man. And then when they get it, it goes to their head, to the place to where they feel like, you know what? I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I can do all this on my own. I can change a tire. You know, I can cook, clean. I can mow the lawn. You know, I don't need a man. It gets to the point to where things begin to fluctuate and then it's all out of order and out of sequence because of that simple mindset is, I don't need the man. I don't need a final say so from a man when biblically that's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, that's true. That's true. I agree with that. Hang on, let me just make one point, and then you can do your thing. Um, when it comes to those women, and this is just Dawn. It's not, y'all like, subscribe, and share. I hope y'all are enjoying the conversation. So it's gonna be tight tonight, but that's how we do things around here. Listen, we ain't afraid of the fire. We ain't afraid of the fire. We come purposely to do that. But you made the point of women who want to be in those positions and who want all of that pressure, all of that responsibility and weight. The thing is, I have found, and honestly speaking from a female's perspective, hey, Sir Hale, thank you for joining on tonight. Good to see you. Good to see you. So glad you could stop by. For the women who are in those positions that end up with that feeling of I don't need a man, honestly and truthfully, it usually comes from something that has happened, that has transpired in their lives, where it's rooted in, and I'm gonna say it, it's rooted in bitterness, it's rooted in hurt, it's rooted in disappointment. Because guess what? I can change a tire. I can change the tire. I would buy my own car by myself, but I don't want to. I don't want to change the tire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a matter of want and will. I can do it because God forbid I'm in a situation where my man, my husband, whoever it is not there, and I can't be helpless. Yeah. So I have to know how. But why would you want to? And a lot of us get in the position of I don't need a man because we've been disappointed and it has been rooted in bitterness, or the women who raised us, wounded women, are raising other wounded women. That happens quite often. So we have to understand what the root of those kind of comments are. Donald, I know you want to say something. I got you. I just want to read a couple of comments. I'm sorry, bear with me. I'm not throwing you off, bro. Let's see. I want to make sure. I hope y'all like, subscribe, and share, y'all. The men's lounge is always fire. This is like my favorite, to be honest. Don't tell the ladies' room, okay? Don't tell them. It's our secret. Lady Devote says, look at the ones who say that too. And are they that happy? I guarantee you they still tired. I'm telling you. You know how I know? Because I used to be one of those women for a period of time where I was like, I don't need a man because I got my own house. I got my car. I take care of myself. Got me and my son. There's nothing that he can give me that I can't give myself. And guess what? After a certain point, I had to come to the realization and the truth within myself as to why I was feeling that way. We are not meant and positioned to be that way. But we have to pocket our soft, our feminine resting place because we got to survive. And that's what happens. Antoinette says, I am one that wants to wear the skirt. However, if the pants are leading me down a rabbit hole, then I'm pulling up my trousers real fast, whether he likes it or not. Say on, poetic. That's what I'm talking about. Sir Hale says, much respect to the brothers on the panel. He says, salute to the chat. And see where we at. I asked Pastor Chris if he would put his comment in the section because his comment in the comment section because it was really good, and we need to kind of meditate. Let that marinate for a minute. That don't allow me to have my God ordained position in life and ministry without a price tag on it. And he's done. Hey, Dr. Jude is in the house. Thank you for joining on tonight, Dr. Jude. Antoinette says, just because I can do it doesn't mean I want to do it. Exactly. I don't want to. I don't want to get my pretty nails messed up. I don't want to. I want to be able to be the lady and the woman that you want me to be, and women, we have to be willing to rest in our feminine energy. So again, while women are saying that, it comes from somewhere. Maisha says, I don't want to. Welcome to Miss Carrie Gideon DeBerry. She is here from TPV Radio Network. Welcome. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Soft girl era me, baby. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let me be the I'm happy to be. There's sidebar stuff going on. Okay. All right. Okay. Noted.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
regrouping. We regrouping. Soft error me. I'm with you, cousin in love. Okay, got it. Lady Devoa says, because they be lying. Hold on, Donald. I'm coming right to you. I promise, bro, because I want to hear what you got to say. You always need a man, period. God won't make that mistake, and not though we shouldn't been. No, it didn't build this world because of men. We have passed for men. We have passed for the month. I can't see what the rest of it says. Sorry. Let me see. And Lady Devoa says that Pastor Chris, I hear you well. Read you, sir. Amen. It's the thing of women. We have to get back to resting in our place. Because first of all, we were not here first. We weren't. Men were here first to set order. We came later to add to help, to support, and to help to build. That's what we're supposed to do. And it's okay to rest in that. It doesn't take anything away from us. Lady Lois said, oh, she was apologizing. Sorry for typos. This got me hyped. So, right. Yes, it's that kind of conversation tonight. Yeah, Pastor Chris is very proud of himself today, but we don't go there. Culture has conditioned us that being strong equates to being exhausted, and that should not be the case. We must know how to influence appropriate and trust real men to take the lead. Absolutely. Ladies, you can be strong and still rest in your feminine energy. Think about the influence that we should have, how we should use our influence to support the men in our lives. It doesn't have to be the person that you're dating. It doesn't have to be, but if it is, and if it's your husband, you should be able to use your influence to speak life into him so that he can move forward and continue doing what he's doing. Come on, Donald. Come on, 2 or 4. Share your knowledge, brother.
Well, I don't want to get too far ahead of your itinerary here.
Come on, we here now. Go for it.
But I've read, listened to a lot of these thoughts and shared feelings that are very empowerment, that are powerful. Help me with the word. But I like to take as much time as I'm allowed to share in this space, and I'll try to be very short with a very long list of concerns. First thing I want to really say to all the women listening, it's the same thing I ask every time we meet up on this fabulous Thursday on Bravo with Sheila. Thank you, Miss Sheila. Women, once again, I still have to ask the question, what do you want?
Wow.
And are you willing to give the space for the man to do as he is willing and able to do?
That point.
I'll say it again, shorter. What do y'all want? And if you tell us what you want and we're giving it to you, or if we're falling short in giving it, isn't there a way that you can honestly share your thought and feelings without necessarily being overly assertive? I don't have a problem with an assertive woman. I don't have a problem with a woman speaking her mind. I don't believe that a woman's place is behind me. I tell my wife every time we go to the supermarket, stop walking behind me. We are not that culture. We are equal. It's a little pet peeve, but it's the point I'm making when I'm saying that, yes, we men, I can say strongly, I believe that there's more men out there that are willing to step up, measure up, and is doing that than maybe what I thought in the earlier part of my statement, which I'm leading into saying. When I mentioned that I was a feminist, let me clarify. I became a feminist by force because I got tired of all the contentions and headbutting and women and those women. I'm not going to generalize. I'm going to try not to generalize, but I'm going to generalize in this platform because women who are setting these expectations of what they want aren't really being. I question whether they're being fair about how they're doing things. All right, so. To get to, again, not to take up all this space, But in my past, present experience, I've dealt with too many women. I've worked predominantly in what is predominantly a female workforce environment. And story for another time. I have seen how women want the same thing, or they want the man to be a man, but they want to lead the man if he can't lead. And I think that's where there's always that clashing between the sexes, because women are saying we want equality and we want to be treated fairly and we want and we want and we want. And if we don't get it, then we're gonna do like the nice lady who said, "Well, I'll wear the skirt, but if the trousers don't fit, I'll put on the trousers." I'm kind of in my feelings on this. I'm letting y'all know transparently because there's a lot of mixed thoughts I have about where a woman's position is and where does a man fit. Someone said earlier that God created man first. I've heard that twice. Yes, he did. So I would like to know, why are y'all women not willing to honestly let a man lead? Because things like changing a tire, that's a man's job. That is a man's job. But if a woman's got to learn to do it, I need to understand, why do you need to learn to do something that's a man's job? And then you're fussing about having to do a man's job that's not your job. I'm a back away. I'm going to pause at this place of my comment because, again, it's a real sensitive topic for me, but it's a hot topic and it's an interesting topic. And I would like to be able to not only just express my thoughts to y'all ladies out there that are listening in, that are making good comments, good responses, and etc. But I would like to, again, get my question one day answered, that, again, what do women want from us? And are you willing to step aside and let us do it?
Okay, good question.
The issue that I understand his comments and I understand where he's coming from.
My name is Donald.
Oh, sorry, Don. I understand where Minister Donald is coming from. And it's a good question, because I find that you can't talk out of both sides of your face. You can't say you want this today and then flip-flop that you want something tomorrow. And I understand the premise, and I understand why women, and I'm going to preface it this way, why men and women sometimes aren't seeing eye to eye. And one of the reasons I've noticed is that, and I think Pastor Chris said this a minute ago, we talk two different languages. And what men and women have to do is, and I'm speaking from personal experience, is we sometimes, 99% of the time, we want to respond before we hear the other person's heart. And I say it like this, because we have one mouth and two ears. We have that for a reason, because we're supposed to not only hear with our physical ears, but we sometimes have to take in what we're hearing, because sometimes women speak in code. And the code that you're speaking sometimes doesn't translate to what what we're hearing. And men need to figure out, let me not be so quick to respond to what I'm hearing. Let me soak it in so I can try to dissect or discern what they really want without them trying to say it. If that make any sense to anybody. Because women speak in code and men speak in code too. We both speak in code. And unfortunately, we have to be the one to dissect the code. Now, me and my wife have been married for 20 years. We have dissected each other's code. I can look at my wife, she knows what I'm thinking. She look at me, I know what she's thinking. I finish her sentences, she can finish mine. but that code was done or developed over time. It ain't happened overnight. And I think a lot of times when women are trying to influence men, it's not that you can't influence us, but it's the way that you're trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way that you're trying to do it. It may be the tone that you're using. Women, y'all got the influence of all. Y'all can influence a man to do just about anything you want them to do. Yeah, men might be mad at me, but I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Y'all can. It goes back, and I'm sorry I gotta take it like this. It goes all the way back to the Bible days. Because truth be told, if Eve can make Adam eat the fruit after God told them not to, if Delilah can seduce Samson, the influence is there.
Mm.
It's just how y'all go about doing it. And now it's not the influence of the mind now, it's the influence of the body. And I'm gonna leave it like that.
Mm.
Okay. That's good. It's good stuff. Thank you, Donald. Thank you, Pastor Lindsay. I see you, Pastor Chris. I'm gonna get right to you, but I want to address a few things and I want to read some comments. Y'all like, subscribe, and share. This is great conversation. I'm so glad we're having it. You never know which way it's gonna go, but I knew that's right. I chose violence. I chose it on purpose. I'm keep saying it all night. Yes, I did. I did. And I'm proud of myself. I just needed Pastor Lindsay here. Not Pastor Linwood here. I was ready for him today. But I want to say something to Donald's question. You asked about women letting men lead. You know, are we willing to let a man lead? I believe as a woman, I don't have a problem with letting you lead. That's actually what I expect. I expect you to lead. It's not a point, and I don't even really like the term of letting. You know, like I let you do this. You know, I allow you to do that. You don't have to ask my permission to lead. You just have to lead. The issue comes in with, as Pastor Chris would say, some, not all, men can't even lead themselves or are leading themselves in directions or in places that is detrimental. It is not positive. It is not building. Now, it is up to the woman to decide to follow. We have to be mindful of who we're following, and it gets down to choices. But in us allowing you to lead, I believe it comes to a point of trust. I have to trust you. I have to trust you solely. I have to trust you blindly. I have to be able to, even if I can't see it and see where you're going, I have to trust your vision, period, to follow blindly.
Yeah.
Because I know that you are not leading us down a path that is going to be destructive. That takes trust and that takes time. And I believe that that is essential in a relationship. And those are spaces in relationships that have to be worked on and built over time. Because no matter how long you've been with the person, I may trust you in this way at this season, but when we get to 10 years in and our season changes and we are now encountering different situations, you know, we're all trying to navigate our way through it. But I think it comes to a point of trust. And women, we have to learn how to trust the choice that we made to stand beside the man that we chose. Good, bad, or indifferent. We have to learn to let up and learn to follow better. But men, you also have to learn how to continue to stand in your strength and lead. I know you don't want to fight against. You don't want the tension. Everything shouldn't have to be a struggle. And this is where, as Pastor Lindsay was speaking about, influence coming in. This is where, ladies, we have to know how to use our influence in the proper way and know how to use it in a way that's going to benefit everybody. We shouldn't be influencing you to do things that's one-sided just for us, but we have to learn how to influence and support you in a way that is for the family. That's my take on that question. Just my little take. I see you, Angelo. I just want to read a couple of comments and then come right to you. Lady Navoa says, please explain what that means. Rest in your femininity. Why would you want your man to rest in his masculinity? I'm just saying, the way it sounds, you don't rest in it. Take a break. That's what it sounds. No, well, I can understand.
No.
Okay,
Go ahead. Ooh.
It makes it okay. Everybody hears things differently. That's the thing. Everybody hears things differently. So we're not here to convict or convince. We're here to have conversation, to open up understanding through dialogue. When we're talking about resting in your femininity, we're talking about resting in the softer sides of you. Women, we don't have to be so dogmatic. No man wants to be in, well, okay, well, I'm just going to say, I'm going to say what I started to say. I'm going to say no man wants to be in a relationship with a man who's a woman.
Right.
Not getting involved with you as a woman to be in a relationship with a woman who has a male dominating personality. He's not doing that to go head to head all the time. Resting in your femininity is being the lady and the woman that you were created to be. I do want my man to rest in his masculinity. Absolutely. Rest in it, meaning subdue it, work it, embrace it. What else? Live in it. Rest it. Be secure in that. In your masculine as a man. Man, be a man. Stand up, say it with your chest. Yes, that's what I want. And the same way, my man expects me to rest in my femininity. That I can be that soft place, that smooth like butter, that be that. But you have to be with the right person to create that kind of mix. It's not about taking a break. It's not that. It's embracing what and who you were created to do and to be. Again, we are at a position. This is part of the problem. Women, we are trying to, we try to buck up with a man like we are a man.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. We're not built for that. Not at all. Stick. Okay. If it sounds nicer, get in your lane and stay there. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. Rest in the feminine, in the woman that you were made to be. She also says, I hope I helped clear that up, and gentlemen, y'all can chime in because I see you. I'm gonna get at you in one moment. Like, subscribe, share, y'all. I hope you're enjoying this conversation. Lady Go also says, and let him make his mistakes and see him work it out. It is, well, honestly, it's difficult to stand on the sideline and watch a man or anyone make a mistake, but you do have to and learn to let them work it out. Men are smart. They build the world. We say we are the brains, et cetera, but we can build this world like the men did without fighting. We have to be in partnership with each other. Let's see. Pastor Rosa says, we have to address our needs to the man in our lives and not generalize or fantasize for the lack of that man in our lives. We can only answer that for the man in our lives. Exactly. You know the man in your life. You have to address it. Again, it's a general conversation, but you know your man in your life, and you have to adjust yourself accordingly to him. Partner says, I'm always willing to step aside and let a man be a man, but when I don't feel safe with him leading, I'm going to intervene. Now, I can definitely agree with that because I am that way, and I do that.
But how you intervene is important.
Yes. How you intervene is important, and again, it is a matter of safety. Let's see. Lady Navoa says, I want you to put your foot down again. Lead us. I'm from a family where most of us are married and started young. We're trained to be wives and husbands. We are not equal like that. We're feminine. You guys are masculine. I don't think it's a matter, well, for me, it's not a matter of training or equality, it's a point of balance. When we talk about equal, I think it's balance is what it is. Antoinette says if we are partners, then we should not feel no type of way if I can fill in the blanks to help us get back on track. Right. I'm here to help you. Hey, Von Eric, where's your faith? Welcome to the show on tonight. Okay, I want to see where we at. Hey, Anitra, thank you for joining us. She says, yes, we want the man to lead. However, are you a leader worth following? That is a very good question and point. Okay, let's see. So we have some other side conversations going on in the chat. All right, let's see. We go keep our conversation going and flowing, and we want to keep it on the platform. So come on, Cousin Angelo, share your thoughts.
My statement kind of deems from, I'll go with first what Minister Cousin said. He mentioned, he asked the question, what do women want? I didn't see any. Well, I saw a few. Maybe if Pastor Chris said he don't know what they want.
I didn't see any, but okay.
What is it that you want? And then the second part of my statement or my question is what Pastor Lindsay mentioned was, women, you already have influence. You already have major influence. Now, my part I wanted to add to that is, as women, we know that you're in power. You empower. You have influence. You lead. There's a lot that you do and you accomplish. You have on your plate, but you have to be careful because you don't want to ask for too much. You don't want to bite off too much more than what you can handle. And oftentimes, I've seen the female gender try to bite off too much. You're not designed to handle but so much. For example, I tell my wife, she don't mind me sharing. I know she don't mind. I tell her there's certain things that you will do with our kids, with our boys. You're more of a nurturer than I am. There are things that they're going to come to you. You're going to wipe their scars away. You're going to put the bandages on. But there's a certain level of things that they're going to need from me as the father. Why? Because they're young men. They need to know. They need to learn the masculinity side. They need to hear it from a rough side sometimes. They need to hear, because the world is only going to make it worse for them. The world is only going to give it to them harsher or nastier. They need masculinity. They need the male. They need to see things from a male perspective and not just from a female perspective. So, and I'm saying that to bring it all home, that oftentimes as the female gender, you have to be careful of what you desire or how high you desire to go, because you're not designed to go. And I may get in trouble for this, but you only designed to go to a certain altitude. When God called the male to be dominant over the female, you just have to be careful what you ask for, what you're desiring. And I think Lady Dawn said it earlier. You want to stay within purpose boundaries. There's some things that you try to carry and that you ask for and what you want to accomplish over the male at times. You're not in purpose and you're not walking in purpose. That's all.
Yeah, we have to make sure that we are staying in those spaces and those places. I want to read a couple of comments and we'll continue on for a little bit longer in the conversation. Alicia says, personally though, some women can't allow a man to lead because of fear, hurt, and never having a role model. That's true. It is hard to follow if you've never had it emulated. What does that look like? And it looks different for everyone. Some women actually have followed men. It gets into the dynamic of the home. How you saw what you saw and how you translate that for you. We repeat cycles sometimes based off of what we see. So if you come out of an abusive home, a lot of times that's what you've seen, that's what you've learned, you become conditioned to it. So you repeat that cycle and you will follow a man because that is a role model that you've been exposed to, and you will seek out someone who does the same thing that you saw done when you were coming up. So we have to be mindful of what those role models are or how we consider that, because everyone is a role model. It just depends on whether it's positive or negative. But yes, women, we do have those issues of fear and hurt and never having a role model, but those are things that we as women then have to address on our own. That's something that we have to work through and conquer before we get into a relationship space, because otherwise you're bringing that baggage with you. And it's okay, we all bring baggage with us. However, just like when you packing for a trip, be careful of what you bring, what you need. Don't bring the extra. Heal first and then bring other stuff. But you don't have to bring everything. Alicia also says, some women do not know what they want because they have needed to be the provider for their families. So when asked by a man the question, they really don't have an idea. And that's true too. But in this case, I have to put the ownership back on us as women, because if you are in the space where you've been the provider for your family, then for me, and I've been that. So it's easy for me to say, in a man, what do I want? I want a provider. I think we become afraid to say what we want because a lot of women have been given the label of being gold diggers or just wanting men for their money, or you just want me for this and that. So it's hard for when you ask us what we want. I'm afraid if I say what I want, then you're going to start labeling me as, oh, she just wants from me. But bro, you asked me what I want. So when
that's not always the case. That shouldn't always be the case. I'm not saying that. I'm not putting words in your mouth to say something that you're saying is right. I'm not doing that in the least.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry. Let me respect the platform. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No. This is good. I'm just making the point. I'm answering the question and also bringing it to light. Y'all don't have to back down. Listen, something happens when men speak. This is the men's lounge.
Well, I'm glad you said that, sis.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
I'm just putting ownership to this from woman to woman where it has to be, because we have to start taking ownership of our stuff so that we're not bringing that stuff onto you as men as an additional something for you to deal with that further confuses and complicates it. But the reality is this stigma of when you ask me what I want and I tell you what I want from you, don't then turn around and label me as the other women who want you for this stuff. I'm not trying to get in your pocket. I'm telling you, I'm answering your question. Can you handle the answer to my question without repercussion or punishment?
If you don't want to know the answer to the question, don't ask it.
Right.
No, you have to ask it because that's where you're going to get your clarity from.
But he's saying, but if you don't want to know the answer, because when I answer you,
but
you
then
don't have to like it.
But that becomes, and whose problem does that become? If you ask me the truth, if you ask me a question and I give you the truth, or vice versa, you have to be able to handle what's being said. If you're looking for an answer to help identify or remedy or I guess provide, because I like what you said, sis. I like what you said. You're right. I do see that happening a lot. To your point, but well, okay. I'm trying to.
I'm just saying it becomes that this is in answering that question or just in adding to it, so that men, you understand what happens in a woman's mind when you keep saying we don't know what we want. We don't know what we want. It's not that we don't know.
No. I never said they don't know what you want. I keep asking, what do you want? Because like you said, once a man asks that question and a woman answers it, he shouldn't turn around and make it seem like she's digging in his pockets, being a gold digger, and all the rest of that. But I wasn't saying you.
I wasn't saying you. I was responding to what Alicia said, because that's what she said. That's what I was saying. Just adding on to this is some of the mentality that some women will not say out loud. So we We dumb down what we want, or we quiet what we want because we don't want you to perceive us that way. Pastor Chris, go ahead before you explode.
Okay, I'm gonna shut all this down real quick. This is the problem. This is the problem. Men, we're not self-aware. Women are not self-aware. This is not a male-female issue. It's a you issue. So when you get your values, your stuff in check, someone asks, are you a leader worth following? Now, listen, there's a lot of different narratives to that. I'm born to lead. So if I'm born to lead, but was not given the tools to lead, I'm not making excuses for how I came up, because I didn't come up the same typical way most men were brought up. I was not brought up that way, but I'm not making excuses. I'm finding a way to be the leader. I'm made mistakes and making corrections to be a leader to my woman. That's one point. Two, we need to stop all this back and forth about you hurt me, you hurt me. Oh, I'm a this type of woman, and I'm a this chick, that chick. I'm a this guy, that guy. Listen, fact of the matter is, regardless, we can go back and forth all night with this whole thing. All of us have been scarred. Got the t-shirt, the hat, the MP3, the download, you name it, I got it. But the first thing I got to recognize within me, how can I be the leader that these women of God are looking for if I can't even look at myself? That's one. You got to take accountability. Yeah, thank you. You got to take accountability and ownership with your stuff. Men and women, black, white, polka dot, green, purple, whatever nationality you are. This ain't a race thing. It's a you thing. That's one. I'm going to make a second point, and I'm going to be quiet because I'm getting riled up tonight in a good way. So here's my question. So, ladies, not all, but some, and with all due respect, of all the isms and schisms that are going on in this world up to current day, here's my question. What was the point of Eve being made for Adam as a helpmeet? Helpmeet, not side meat. Not paperweight, not side door meat, all this meat we got going on. No, she was a help meet. So what was the point? What happened? We lost sight of the ball. We want to blame and blame and blame. No, man, we lost sight of the conversation of our relationship with God, which led the woman to fall.
Right.
Y'all men ain't gonna like that part, but it's the truth. We had relationship with God. God made us a woman in what we want. He didn't want us to be by ourselves, right? Okay, so now we got all this isms and schisms going on, and we're doing more of this than this. And then we have conversations like this. We're going back and forth. College education, no college education. From the streets of the hood, got the double doctorate in the streets. Don't got a double doctorate in the streets. You've been raised old school, new school, whatever school. Generation X, Z, Y, S, and OP. The problem is you look at yourself, you see what you have and what you lack. And as a good man, I can't sit here and say I can lead a country. I can't sit here and say I can lead a church sometimes. I need my help meet. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the revelation, knowledge, and power. I don't have all the six-figure salaries all the time. Sometimes, boo, it takes your intellect to give me what I need so we can have what we want. So if you want a man to lead, you got all that intellect, all that beauty, all that pizzazz. Stop hating on the thing, but make the thing. We're the first two people that are made in this earth, a black woman and a black man. We have been divided since the beginning. And if you see black couples stay together, do you understand the beauty in that? And you wonder why we're so much attacked. Every platform we go to, every show I go to, all this stuff going on. We too worried about arguing with ourselves instead of figuring out, I got a me problem, you got a you problem. Okay, it's all good, boo. Tyrone hurt you bad. He dogged you out. Maybe I was one of those dudes back in the day, but you got to understand this. You got to make changes within you. I ain't going to be the perfect man. I ain't going to be all this and the knight in shining armor and Superman and all this other stuff. Look, I got kryptonite every day, right? But that's why I have a help meet to keep me focused. My help meet needs to be plugged into me so we can be who we are. I'm not talking about we can go all night back and forth. It is what it is. I'm not trying to out-intellect nobody. The simple math is this. Eve was made to be a help meet. What happened, ladies? What happened? We lost it. And yeah, we can take blame men too. We can take accountability. But at the end of the day, let's stop arguing about apples and oranges and have solutions to the problem. I'm done.
So why is it thought that men drop the ball? Where do we drop the ball?
When we stop having a relationship with the Father. That's back in Genesis.
Yeah.
That's where it began.
Yeah.
That's where it began. But we don't preach that. So that's why we don't preach that. But that's where it started. But I can go into it, but this ain't that type of program. But I can get into it, but it ain't that type of program. But I see your point though.
To piggyback on what Pastor Chris said, and I love this, I love the dialogue and I love the conversation because it's eye-opening. What we got to understand is the fact that what Pastor Chris did say and what he was referring to was, and I love the fact that he kept saying help meet. And the reason that Eve was such a perfect match for Adam was because God created in Eve everything Adam needed. Okay, hold that thought right there. What happened was, as men, we took God out of the equation and we decided we want what we wanted instead of what God wanted for us.
Purpose.
And so now what we go looking for is what we want. And maybe what we wanted is not what God intended for us to have. So then there you have two people coming together that should have never came together to begin with because it was never created for them two to be together. I'm going deep now. So, and I get
don't go too deep. Don't go too deep.
Because what happens is the Bible says, how can you two walk together except you agree?
Right.
So therefore, when Adam and Eve was created for one another, just like I believe that there's a man and a woman for everybody. What you got to do now is, like Brother Chris said, or Pastor Chris said, you got to soul search yourself and ask God, what type of man or what type of woman do you have out there to meet the need that you put in me so that we can walk in total alignment with you? And what happens is when we decide what we want, when we push God's desires to the back burner, then we come up with something that God never intended us for us to happen. Not saying that the person that we was with didn't help us get to where we needed to be, but we didn't have to go that route if we would have decided to wait on God and not force ourselves onto somebody that wasn't meant to be with us in the first place.
Okay. And this is true, and it is all good and great dialogue. And I hope that we are all gleaning and learning and pulling out the nuggets that we need to. But again, I just want to share and reiterate and say also, while we are Christian, we do come from a biblical perspective, but we want to also round it out in general conversation because we are respecting everyone's, beliefs, everyone's moral compass. This is where we come from. So I told you, I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get some Jesus from me because that's what I know. But we want to make sure that we are inclusive and that we are presenting in a way that we are making it so everyone can grab the meat from what we're saying, because there are some who don't believe in God. So if God is your moral compass, then you'll completely understand where the men are coming from. Outside of that, whatever your moral compass is, let that be what rules you, and let that be what governs you. But the principles should remain the same. It's about being in position and being in proper place. Alicia says self-awareness, self-love, selfishness, individuality, independence, and equality. Only a God-fearing woman and man can have it. Let me see what else. Anitra, my girl, I love her. My Ken says good dialogue. It is good dialogue. I'll tell you, something happens when the men speak. I told you I chose violence early, and I don't apologize for it. I'm sorry, not sorry.
There was the other comment that I thought was very interesting. I don't know where it's at, and I forgot who said it.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me see. Anitra also says individual evaluation, healing, and accountability. What I do want to say is, all right. Anitra says meeting where he needs help. This is really the conversation about balance and almost like a puzzle. How do we fit in with one another? Yes, there are as females, we have influences, and men, y'all are designed to lead. It doesn't mean that we as women are not leaders, but well, Donald, don't be so sad. Fix yourself.
No, I'm not sad. This is my listening face. It's not my sad face.
Oh, okay, all right. I'll make
I'm
sure.
listening.
Like we all see you, bro.
You see, this kind of goes with what I was venting earlier. I know you are, but I'm just saying, like, never mind. I'm not sad. I'm just listening.
Just messing with you. I was messing with you. I just say to hold up now. I'm gonna take my glasses off. Y'all done set 2 or 4. I got to go. Let little snow tag me in. Who did it to you?
Nah, I'm good. You know, the good thing about this, even if I may very well be honestly in my feelings, is that I can also feel resolved within myself from the things I'm hearing that are just not me. Like I said at the start of the platform, my sister and I have called on my sister on so many different incidents in my work life, in my prior life, in my current life, in my church life, where I've always shared with her the kind of things and elements that I engage with, dealing with women in their different roles as a wife, roles as a co-worker, role as a worshiper in the church, even role as a sister, always trying to find that balance. And one thing I do want to share real quick is and I'm not being defensive, I just want to say this in transparency, and I know the point was already made, but when I mentioned about having to feel forced into becoming a feminist, it was so I could find peace and balance where I needed to in the environment I was in, because I got tired of having to fight and battle for my manhood against certain strong female personalities who, when they would have a dogmatic approach to me and I respond in that same space, then they suddenly turn around and they're a victim. Oh, he yelled at me. Mm-hmm. Oh, he talked to me rude. Oh, he was disrespectful. Oh, you don't talk to me like that. All of that stuff that went on because of the conversation or the disagreement or the agreed to disagree. I'm going to be even more transparent. I've noticed that when some women with that kind of personality or ego starts off, she could find 5 other women, 10, 20 other women to be in agreement with her, even if she's 100% wrong. And so, when I mention about the feminist role, or I'm theoretically, I'm not a feminist and I'm not a chauvinist, But if I have to honestly back away to keep my peace and my balance level, sometimes, you gotta take, sometimes, fellas, y'all know you did it too, because you could be married and have a disagreement with your wife, and guess what? Sometimes you just throw in the towel and just be like, look, drop the mic, whatever it takes for her to just be quiet, for her to just let it go. And that's a mistake.
Okay, now he done talked himself off the whole platform.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
But
I
I
want to speak to the I don't know if we did, but I wanted to right quick just speak to the single ladies. I don't know if we, because I know we've been digging in, and I think it's a lot of what we've been talking about seem like it's geared toward married couples, but at the same time those in relationship. But I want to talk to the single women right quick, and just, I know you're in dual roles. I know that you are right now. You have to be the mother and the father. I get it. I understand. Continue to do what you're doing. Continue to strive for success, so that your kids will see, hey, mommy works hard for what she does. Mommy works. Continue to lead by example. Continue to lead so that they see a hardworking female, a hardworking mother. But when the time comes and that man comes along, the right man comes along, I hope that this session helps you to know the do's and the don'ts as you prepare to go into a relationship.
Allow him to lead.
Allow him to lead. Yeah. So hopefully,
okay.
yeah, when you get into the relationship, you don't find yourself in a struggle, in a battle as much, because, wow, I remember this on that particular segment. I got to learn how to take the back seat. I got to learn how to walk with him. I got to learn how to be the help meet versus trying to continue to do. And I get it. When you first go into a relationship, just be real. Your mindset is not going to immediately change. You're still going to be doing the same things the same way. And there are going to be times where you feel like, wow, I feel like I'm doing something my husband should be doing. I feel like I'm still doing everything. Why? Because your mind is programmed that. But you have to deprogram yourself as you prepare to go into this new relationship with a man that's going to, be the head of the household, that's going to lead, that's going to take over, that's going to lift some of the weight off of you. But just speaking to the single ladies, that's all.
No, that was good, cuz. And let me just because I want to ask the final question. This has been really good and great. I always love the men's lounge. It's always so toxic in here, but it's so good. It's because we talk. No. I'm just okay. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. Calm down. Everybody woosah for a second. All right. It's a good thing. Because no matter what Thursday night it is throughout the month, I'm always going to have real conversation with real resolutions. I don't mind talking about the things that no one else wants to talk about. These are real facts, real life, real experience, what we actually go through, and we create this safe space where we can have these dialogues so that we can stop walking the way that we have been and get back into our proper positions and partnerships with each other. And a lot of times it starts with self. So what I want to say, and if we don't understand, and this is why I separate the men and the women, because this is the time for the women to lean in and listen and to hear how some of our responses or how our thinking is affects and how it resonates with you as men. There are 4 different men over here, been through 4 different things. I'm sure your experiences overlap, but guess what? Some of the commonalities and how you respond to the things that we hear and we say are the same. So everybody's not wrong. So that's a space where we as women have to stop and pause and say, hey, wait a minute. This is a commonality in men. So now I need to change myself a little bit, adjust myself, because this is how men are built. This is part of their core. Y'all may express it differently. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Y'all may express it differently, but ladies, this is where we have the opportunity to hear and adjust as we need to. Now, in relation to what my cousin said and what Donald, also my brother said, the conversation, I feel, as far as it being guided or geared towards married as well as singles, the beautiful thing about it is that it's a relationship all around. Now, sometimes we as women, when you are in that single space, depending on what your dynamic is, I was a single mom. I've been a single mom. You know, I'm still a single mom, going from having been married to being a single mother. It is an adjustment when you, and depending on it, I'm going to be honest, it depends on your age. It depends on your experience. It depends on what has happened. Are you finished? Are you through your traumas? Don't get involved with someone thinking that he's going to make up for what your baby daddy did not do or your ex-husband did not do. Do not put that weight on that man. It is not his job to make up for the absence or the lack thereof. Men, I understand, and this might be a loaded kind of comment to make, but men, don't take that on. It's not your responsibility. You're there to assist and to add to, but if we as women have not done our work to heal, we are setting everyone up for failure. Because I'm bringing you into a situation. I don't necessarily need you to lick my wounds. I need you to support me through my journey. That's what I need. Let me, you know, and then it's difficult to yield that leading space to a man that comes into your life, especially when the last man that you were with failed you in that respect. And that's real talk.
Facts.
It is difficult.
It is.
You don't want to reach
it is. Because I've been on that side too.
Right. Because after, and I'm speaking from experience, I'm telling you, I'm being transparent. You know, it has taken me time to open myself up in a way that I can trust, not because I don't see you, now, first of all, again, it goes to choices. I'm not going to trust you to leave me. And I know life happens and things happen, but I'm not going to trust you to leave me if you're still sleeping on your mama's couch and you're 49. I'm not going to, that's not
facts. Absolutely.
But this is reality. It's reality. I might date you. We might go out and have a good time, but I'm not going to trust you to lead me because you have not even this is the point of, are you worth me following? You haven't gotten yourself up from your space. How are you going to handle you carrying the weight of you and then you bearing and undergirding me? So these are things that women really think of. This is the real deal. We don't have to like it. It's just reality. And so that we understand. So in that space of single women trying to make room for a new man to come into our lives, you have to have a different mindset, like you were saying. You also have had to go through your process, like you were saying. You also have to have healed to the best of your ability. You have also have to forgive yourself of the guilt that comes along with you being in the situation, you making bad choices. Because I don't want
to being a bad choice.
Right. I don't want to present being a bad choice, right? Because that happens too. I don't want to present myself to you in a way that is going to take away from you. I'm supposed to be coming into your life to add. Right. And that's what we should be doing. Even with my baggage, again, be careful of what you pack on this trip. You don't have to take everything. Bring what you need relationally within yourself. So single women, yes. And even it's good information because as you think about navigating into that space of getting into a relationship, we're not dating just to be dating. You know, we didn't. I mean, well, I'm not because we too far along in life to just be here to just be here. You know, like you have a good time to do it. But I'm just saying, you know, you're dating to build. You should be to be in partnership. You know, you got to find where you fit. And understand that even in finding where you fit, there's going to be some things along the way, you know, that you have to adjust to because you are working out how you jointly fit in socket to each other, you know. So women, we have a lot of influence. Men, you still do dominate the world, even if it doesn't always seem like it. Even if numerically you are not the majority. But sometimes in some spaces, you know, the options that we have to be very careful of. Anitra says be an asset, not a liability. Exactly. Landon Price, I want to read this, says millennials get God-fearing men/women misconstrued or completely wrong, and a lot of relationships suffer because speak on it later than sooner. That's true. We have to understand, you know, we coin so many phrases. We keep repeating these phrases that we don't put the proper value to. We do. We kind of, you know, so you want a God-fearing man, you want a God-fearing woman, you know, you want this man of God, you want this woman of God. What does that even mean? But that's a conversation for another time. But okay, so I want to get to this last question and let you guys have your final comments and thoughts. I want to thank everybody for joining on tonight. Again, this conversation is always fire in the men's lounge all the time. Why? Because something happens when men speak. Y'all cause fire up in this place. Y'all stress people out. Listen, y'all got Donald over here getting ready to kumbaya us before the night is over. He's gonna play us a song. You all right, bro? You okay?
Yeah, I'm just listening. Again, I'm not my feelings. I'm not.
I know
no
you're not.
thoughts.
I'm just messing
I'm
with you.
just sharing and enjoying.
I'm
And again, like, share, and subscribe.
messing with you, big bro.
We need that guitar right about now. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
I'm gonna be playing some tunes when this is over.
What did we get into tonight?
We all are. We all are. We're gonna be in serious timeout when this is over. But the final question I want to ask to wrap it all up and put a bow on it. And again, thank you everybody for joining, like, subscribe, and share. And I want to ask the men this question so that they can respond and give their final thoughts. Because we've actually covered, I had specific questions that the conversation just took its life like it always does, and we actually touched on all the points that were important. We keep it real here. We keep it real here. It don't get no more real and raw than this. You know, all y'all men are off the chain. You know, I like to unleash the men because it just creates such, you know, I love it. It's amazing. But the question is, now that we've had all this discussion, now that we've gotten our emotions all, you know, on the table and our feelings, and y'all been talking with your chest all night, I just want y'all to know, y'all been told that's right. Okay, the left peck and your right peck, y'all been talking from the deep place all night long. Y'all came in like, my question is, and then I also want you to give your final comments, and we're going to go around, is, after all of this, is there room for men and women to lead equally and collaboratively? Now, we know that there has to be, anything with two heads is a monster. I don't want y'all to go deep. I don't want y'all to preach. Okay. I don't want y'all to take it to, you know, to 4 hours on the show. I don't want you to do that. I know it's a loaded question. Looking for Lindsay. But in 2 to 3 minutes, okay, I want to ask you all, is there room, even with all that's going on, is there room for men and women to lead equally and collaboratively as partners? So I'm going to start with my cousin Angelo. Come on and share your response and your final thoughts. It was a setup tonight. I love what I do.
My answer is,
and be honest. Be honest. Your answer is your answer. Be honest.
My answer is yes, but it's going to take a lot of deprogramming, reprogramming, prayer and supplication. It's going to take a lot of heartache and pain.
Fasting and praying. Turn it to the wall.
Yes, it's going to take a lot of all of that. But I do feel like there is still hope for the male and female gender to lead equally. Drop the mic.
Okay, we have one yes. Come on, Brother Blues. Come on, 204. Is there room?
Yeah, Brother Blues.
Anyway, you're gonna play your guitar today. Is there room?
I already wrote down the lyrics to the song I'm getting ready to put together. And I'm gonna title it Brother Blues.
Brother Lou, you're dedicated to your little sister. Dedicated to 404.
Exactly. I'm dedicated to my little sister and all the sisters that yeah. Anyway, answer to your question, my 4-4 is yes. Certainly there is. That was the whole purpose of men and women being created to begin with. Whatever one's belief is on that, I leave that alone. But when it comes down to it, there's a reason why there are men. There's a reason for men and women to be united as one, and for one to be and the man to lead as the woman expects, as the way our dynamics are set up. Men dynamics are to take leadership. We are to be provisional. We are to be protectors. Women's dynamics are to be supportive. We've heard the term help meet several times. And so in order to do that, the two must walk together. Whether you read the Bible or whether you read a good quote from a famous author or poet, two people cannot walk together unless they're equally yoked. So you have to make sure that like we've said several times, each one is responsible and accountable for themselves first. Make right choices, and use opportunities like this platform that's purpose to help us learn, grow, and develop in order to make our own improvements. And I end that with make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Amen. All right. Come on, sir. All right. Thank you for that and your share. All right. Come on, Lindsay. Is there room? Is there room for men and women to lead equally and collaboratively?
Well, first I want to say thanks for having me on. This conversation has it's been an interesting one, to say the least. The panel has been excellent. The panel's been great. The comments have been excellent. The comments have been eye-opening. And I am so proud to be I'm gonna say it like this. I'm so proud to be part of the Men's Lounge.
Come on.
Bravo to the network. And I'm looking forward to getting my feet more in depth with the network as well. And like Minister Donald said, like, share, and subscribe. Yes, there is room for all to come to the table and lead, and we can do it together. We could do it as one. And like you kept saying, Lady Dawn, it's the fact that I only know Bible. That's just me. That's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always, when we begin to talk, I'm here listening, and I'm asking God, what do I say? And scriptures just start popping in my head, and thoughts just start popping in my head. And so I have to premise that based on who I am and what I am. I'm a child of God.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say that because the Bible says that when a man and a woman leave, it says when they become one, they become a unit, they become one. And my perspective is that when we become one, if you're coming into a marriage, or you're coming, and not even that, if you're coming into some type of agreement with one another, male, female, getting married, male, female, working on a job, male, female, walking together, male on a job, working together. When they come into an agreement, they agree to work together, collaborate together, and lead together. Now, I say it to say this: when a man and woman gets married, or a woman and married, or searching for relationships, they have to understand that I'm not going to always be in leadership position. I say that because there are some things that I know that men are supposed to lead. I understand that. But there are some instances where the female is going to have to take the lead on some things. And you have to be in a position to understand that as a man and as a woman, that, hey, he doesn't know a lot on this topic.
Right.
I'm the expert here. So I'm not going to make him feel less than because I know more than him. I'm going to help educate him and lead in the process. And I think that's where a lot of the problems come in at, is the fact that men, here we go again with the word ego, don't want to push their egos aside because they're afraid that the woman might know too much.
Okay, so
that's just me. I'm a trainer at heart. At my job, I'm the manager. I train. Why? Because I understand that if I empower people, they can go ahead and lead other people.
Right.
And so I say it like this. Men and women are trained to lead. How we do it is two different things. But we have room to come together and work together so our leadership styles don't clash. It just makes us better. And I'll leave it at that.
That's good. That's good. Thank you so much. And yes, welcome. We're so glad to have you on the squad of the Men's Lounge. Yes, yes, yes. You know, you add beautifully to the mix, and your shares are amazing. And like I said earlier, you know, each one that is on here, each of you are pastors, leaders in your own ministry rights. So of course, we anticipate you being exactly who you are and being authentically you. You know, we just always want to make sure that we are reminding others that, you know, we are all inclusive. And that's why I always start out with a disclaimer that, you know, we speak from our experience, you know, and if God is your core, then that's what we speak from, you know, but whatever your moral compass is, you know, we respect it and want you to grab the principle, but we can only speak from our well, from what's in our well. So thank you for your shares. Thank you for your final comments, and thank you for being here. And now to, you know, the encounter, the experience, Pastor Chris, come on, let's see what you have to say about, is there room for men and women to lead equally and collaboratively? Give us your answer and final comments, please. And thank you, sir.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank the Bravo with Sheila Nation out there watching. Thank you for the support. Also, the gentlemen on the panel, thank you for even spending these 2 hours in this space. It's definitely been an honor just to have you guys, because it's not a me show, it's an us show. So just want to keep that in mind. But I pull from all of you because I want to say two things, and I'm done. I'm not going to preach. I ain't going to go there because I got a lot to say, but we ain't got the time. Running out of time. So I want to say two things. Now, if you are dating, ladies and gentlemen, you got to get you right. You can make the bank. You can have the house. You can have the car. You can have the six-figure salary, men or women. But if you still got junk in your trunk, it will never work. We can talk all night long, but it will never work. You will blame her, she will blame you, and it'll be the same repeated cycle. So to stop the virus, you got to find the cure. The cure is you. Point number two. We are made to be kings and queens. Now, we're talking about men leading, right? The king, let's go historically. The king, yes, he had position. He had power. Oh, that's King so-and-so. Oh, that's King so-and-so. But do you understand the power of the queen? I'll wait. All of y'all want to argue about who's the lead, submit this and all this stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, the man is the lead. Yes, the man is the, as we say today, he's the brand. Let's put it simple. I'm not going to even preach. He's the brand, or you are the co-owner of the brand, right? Most of the time, when you are in business meetings, the stats are true. Most of the time, yes, the face will show up to initiate the meeting, but who's there to close the meeting? I'll wait. Most of the time, it's the queen. Why? because the queen knows how to roll the room, set the atmosphere. And if there's an equal in the man and the woman, they're operating in their roles, and she knows when her power comes and when she can be just the queen and just be whatever you like, baby, whatever you like, baby. You know, we're not talking about bow down and kiss my feet and my hands and all that stuff. When it's time to make money moves, boo-boo, do you. I'll initiate the meeting. They want to see the face of the brand, I'll be right there. King will come in the room, do it, and you set the atmosphere and close the check. Why? Because that's how good we are together.
It's good.
But if we continue this downward cycle of throwing more toxic waste into each other, we will never be who we were meant to be. And that's kings and queens like we've been all the way in the beginning. Read your book. It's in the word and also in the natural. Who were the greatest kings and queens of all time? You don't see a lot of books like that anymore in the natural. It was black kings and black queens. They ruled the world. Just saying. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. This is the Psalmist Voice, a.k.a. Pastor Christopher Newton. I'm going to drop the bomb. I'm done. God bless you.
Thank you, Pastor Chris. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in on tonight. Thank you, those who are up in the expensive seats in the silent section. Keep telling you, come on down to the comments. I promise you it's safe. We got security. Don't worry about it. It's user friendly. Don't be scared. But thank you, gentlemen. The men's lounge is always fire. I love the fact that, you men, you come and you pour, and I can't thank you enough for your open, honest dialogue and shares, how you speak truth, you give reality. And yes, you all stand in the place of leadership as pastors. And so you share from multiple perspectives to give a very well-rounded picture. And that's a blessing, because that causes us to be very well-rounded people. Ladies, it's important that we take the time to lean in and listen to what the men have to say. Let us glean from it. Let's learn to not attack. Let's learn to listen. We don't have to agree, but we do have to respect, and we want them to be heard. That's the whole point and purpose, as I've said before, of having the men on by themselves, and I'm the only estrogen that sits up here with them, is so that they can speak freely and honestly and transparently in a safe environment. And my job is to make sure that we keep it safe, and I will always keep it safe and guarded for you men. So thank you so much for sharing. And thank you all for your final comments. And I would just say this. I believe that there's always room for men and women to lead equally. And when we say equally, I refer to balance. In order for something to be equal, there has to be balance. That's what balances it out. Sometimes it's going to be 70-30, but it's balanced to the 100. Sometimes it'll be 60-40, but it balances out to what? To 100. And that's the goal, is for us to get to the 100 in our relationships. So you may give more at one time and you may get more at another time. But at the end of the day, it all equals to 100. It's supposed to be reciprocal. So when we are leading in our spaces collaboratively, and that's a point of us leading collaboratively, it's not one lording over the other, but I should not mind you going first and me having your back. And just like in a relay race, you tag me in, pass the baton, and I take it the next length. And we repeat this cycle. It's important that we get to that space that we are leading equally and collaboratively with one another. One key thing is you have to have balance within yourself first. Know what you bring to the table or to the relationship. not just male, female, but how are you showing up at work? How are you showing up at church? How are you showing up with your families? Because all of these spaces all bleed in together at some point in time. And we have to learn how to be balanced, equal, and be collaborative all around and be well-rounded. So Pastor Lindsay brought up the point of agreement. It's not about learning to agree to disagree. It's about us genuinely coming to a point of agreement. Not always about compromising. It's about agreement. I shouldn't have to feel like I'm giving something up or I'm less than because I'm coming in agreement with you. I need to know that I'm willing to let go of whatever is not healthy to build us and to push us forward. It is not a loss, it's a gain. And I can come in agreement with you that this is what's better for us. That's a part of building together, leading together equally and collaboratively, because we have one goal, and that's for us to reach 100. So thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts on tonight. This has been a great conversation. We might have to have a part 2. I don't know, because it's so much me talking about female influence in a male-dominated world. You know, it's never what it seems. It's never what it seems. All right. So I invite you all to like, subscribe, and share. Continue to join us. Next Thursday, I will be back at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be wrapping up this Women's History Month. What we will be talking about is Unsung Heroes Part 2, and I am proud to say that I will be bringing on 5 amazing women that have made history in present day that are influential in my life, and I'm bringing them forward to honor them. So you don't want to miss it. Like, subscribe, and share. Bring a friend. And April is going to be just as fire as January, February, and March. So, gentlemen, hang out for a little bit. Thank you, Cousin Angelo. Thank you, 204 Big Bro Donald. Thank you so much, Pastor Lindsay, my brother, and to Pastor Chris, a.k.a. the Psalmist. You already know what it is, okay? You are an experience and an encounter. So good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Be good, be blessed, be encouraged, and go be great. See y'all next time.
I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah, if having hope is dangerous, call me Evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up with the snake kids, get the wake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up if I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle a lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, they pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. Throat.